It's 2011 inside GE's sprawling headquarters. Beth Comstock stands at a crossroads. The company that once built light bulbs and locomotives now faces an impossible choice: cling to familiar pasts or leap toward a digital, clean energy future nobody fully understands. The tension is thick. What if the new ideas fail? But what if not trying is the real failure? This moment, charged with risk and fear, holds the secret sauce to innovation. Bates' battle began with a simple yet radical idea: turn the world outside into your classroom. The tension? Most companies slam doors on awkward new ideas, preferring the comfort zone of what we know. At GE, Bates kicked off the digital revolution by bringing in startups and tech outsiders, something practically taboo in the old guard culture. She recalls pitching Fastworks to skeptical execs who thought it was risky nonsense. But by introducing fresh perspectives, she cracked open the rigid shell, turning uncertainty into tangible projects, like software-driven jet engines that talked back. Imagine discovery like a window. Most companies shut it tight to block cold winds of change. Bates' method prized this window open wide, flooding stale rooms with fresh air, new sounds, uninvited ideas, and yes, even a little chaos. That chaotic breath fuels creativity, reminding teams there's a world bigger than their cubicle walls, ripe for learning and disruption. The payoff? GE's culture shifted from fearing outsiders to hunting them down. Innovators became welcome provocateurs, sparking new strategies and breakthroughs. Bates' gamble paid off. Transformation wasn't just about tech. It changed how GE thought, acted, and survived in a merciless, fast-paced world. In a giant like GE, change can be a glacier, slow, massive, unmoving. Yet Bates found sparks in the form of provocateurs, people who question the usual and light fires under frozen ideas. The tension? Keeping those sparks alive without burning down the house. Bates' story about Steve, a junior engineer with bold ideas about cleaner energy, is telling. Steve wasn't afraid to ruffle feathers. He pushed for wind turbines when gas was king. Instead of shutting him down, Bates gave Steve a platform, turning skepticism into support. That friction sparked breakthrough projects that wouldn't happen without his unrelenting voice. Think of provocateurs as tightrope walkers, balancing risk and respect. Too much rebellion and they're out, too little and they're invisible. Bates' brilliance was knowing when to pull the rope tight or loosen it, giving permission to test boundaries while keeping overall corporate trust intact. A dance of creative tension that lets change breathe. The payoff? Provocateurs became catalysts, no longer obstacles. Their challenges forced GE to rethink old assumptions and embrace smarter risks. Bates' leadership proved that when you nurture sparks rather than snuff them, your organization doesn't just respond to change, it generates it. Here's the real kicker: change makers don't wait for green lights. Bates champions giving yourself explicit permission to act beyond norms, even when the boardroom isn't quite ready. The tension? Risking backlash for the reward of transformation. With Fastworks, Bates confronted GE's obsession with perfection head-on. Instead of endless plans, teams launched experiments that failed fast and learned faster. She recalls a pilot project where a prototype failed publicly, embarrassing by old rules. But instead of punishment, they got cheers. That small shift gave teams the freedom to move boldly rather than safely. Bates describes permission slips as internal approvals you grant yourself, that quiet nod to break old rules and push new initiatives forward. It's like telling yourself, I don't have to wait for everyone's blessing to try something crazy. That framework empowers people to bypass bureaucratic choke points, accelerating progress in uncertain times. The transformation is remarkable. Companies stuck in endless debates turn into rapid learners. Speed becomes the true competitive edge. Bates' insight? Waiting for perfect answers is the enemy of good ideas taking flight. The courage to act, even imperfectly, turns inertia into momentum. Remember that tense moment back in GE's headquarters? The future wasn't given, it was imagined and pushed forward by people who dared to look beyond the status quo. That's your takeaway. Your next move can be a spark. Try this, pick one small boundary you've been afraid to cross and give yourself permission to step over it today. Change waits for no one. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.